office, he called you as one of the first people he spoke to and asked for your help. And Mr. Farmer, it was 10 years ago that the United States Supreme Court overturned the doctrine of separate but equal education. What's happened in those 10 years? What progress have we made in race relations?
The progress has been very little, especially in the area of schools. It's been tokenism. It's been at a snail's pace. We notice that in the South now, 10 years after the Supreme Court's ruling, less than 8% of the Negro children are in integrated schools. This is much less than 1% a year. At that rate, it would take 100 years or more for us to completely integrate the schools. We find also that in the North, segregation continues of a de facto sort as opposed to the de jure sort in the South. We have segregated schools growing out of residential segregation. We find that the difference in quality of these schools is just as glaring as the difference in the South. So the progress has been terribly slow.
Do you see the day when more Negroes are going to turn away from the civil rights groups and go toward violence and use that as a resort to solve their problems?
Well, of course, CORE is a nonviolent organization, and CORE will remain a nonviolent organization. I think that unless we achieve significant breakthroughs, unless we get real progress, meaningful progress in this area, then our task of keeping a nonviolent movement going will be much more difficult. I am not one who predicts violence. I will merely say that the possibility of violence becomes greater the longer we go without significant progress in these areas.